Hey guys, it's Wisdom with Weston, episode 279. Let's get into it. Okay, this is Genesis 22. We got a lot of scripture to cover. Let's read. It says, Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Here I am. He said, Abraham, and Abraham said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, which I shall tell you, not just any place, I will tell you the place. So Abraham literally just says, So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, took two young men with him, Isaac, and split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place which God had told him. I wish and pray that I have faith to not even question such a dramatic ask for me, not for the Lord, but for me. Says on the third day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw a place far off. On the third day, it's symbolizing, what does that look like? Jesus, a resurrection, an offering that would happen on the third day. And Abraham said to the young man, Stay here, we will go on yonder, and we will come back to you. How did he know that? He had so much faith that God asked him to sacrifice his only son, whom he loved. God is like hitting him with all like the it feels like innuendos, but it's literally just like, I know where your heart's at. I know whom you love, and I'm going to ask you to sacrifice it for me. And then it says, So Abraham took the wood, burnt offering, laid it on Isaac, his son. Isaac is an older man at this point. He's not a young man. Abraham is 100, or if not a little bit older than 100 at this point. And it says, yeah, because Isaac is like in his 30s. And so the word young lad in the scriptures here means somebody who's between like a middle-aged man. And it says, And he said, Here I am, son. He said, Look, the fire and the wood, where's the lamb for the burnt offering? Isaac is asking his father. And Abraham said, My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the two of them went together. And then if you continue to read, I'm just going to read this last part. It says, And he said to him, Do not lay your hand on the lad. If you look that up, that shows that he's a middle-aged man. Isaac could have wrestled his father and threw his father down easy because Abraham is old. He's over 100 years old at this point. He says, Don't lay your hand on him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. The rest of the story goes on that he sees there's a lamb in the thicket, a ram in the thicket, and that is the provision, the sacrificial offering. I want you to understand that in Abraham's old age, maybe it's because as we get older, we depend more on God because we're so weak and we can be less rebellious and we can't move as much. And knowing that Isaac could have overthrown him, and yet Abraham still did not question God and said, We will come back together and God will provide the ram. I'm praying for you today and for myself to have faith that doesn't question God.